Hey guys, I'm back again. How are you, my loyal viewers? I hope you're all doing well. Okay, this time, I'm going to discuss a pretty interesting film from A24 titled Heretic, 2024. This movie follows two missionaries who visit a man's house to invite him to convert to their religion. However, they end up targeting the wrong person. Curious about how the story goes. Alright, without further ado, let's jump right into the discussion. As usual, please subscribe.
Basically, same size as regular condoms.
In the middle of their conversation as missionaries spreading their faith, both seem confused because so far, they haven't found a single person willing to join. Then, Barnes invites Paxton to continue their journey to a certain place because, according to information from the church, there's a man who might be interested in joining. This man is currently unsure about choosing his religion.
If you receive
Fly upstairs.
yeah,
Our husband, and this is my companion, Sister Paxton.
are you interested? Are you
My name is Sister Barnes, and to sing.
I think you have a beautiful.
Long story short, as the rain begins to fall, they finally arrive at the man's house. But before that, Barnes locks their bicycles first, worried about thieves lurking around.
Hello. It's like things.
When they meet the homeowner, named Reed, they immediately deliver a sermon and explain the purpose of their visit to the house. They completely ignore the fact that their clothes are already soaking wet from the fairly heavy rain. Seeing this, Reed, feeling bad for them, immediately invites them inside.
Come on in.
Great.
Do you like pie?
People are always feeding us treats.
Watching the two of them drenched from the rain and looking cold, he quickly brings them towels. The towels were given so they could dry themselves off. Then Reed asked both of them to wait for a moment while he left. When left alone, their curiosity led them to secretly peek at and observe various items in the house. A short while later, Reed returned and apologized because his wife couldn't join them for a chat at that moment. However, they understood since the most important thing for them was that Reed was willing to convert. To save time, they immediately began discussing religion and presenting various advantages of the faith they followed.
I could tell that you are a very... Joseph investigated many different denominations. Joseph founded our church.
In the middle of the explanation, they were surprised when Reed suddenly brought up someone who died from poisoning by a pie. They tried to steer Reed back to the main topic of explaining their religion. But strangely, the man kept talking about things outside the context that were rather horrifying to discuss. Starting to feel uncomfortable with the increasingly bizarre direction of the conversation, Barnes asked that they call his wife instead.
Sorry. Oh, Bill ask.
As Reed left, Barnes, suspicious of the man's strange behavior, immediately told Paxton they should leave the place. But not long after, Reed returned and invited them to chat with his wife in another room. In the midst of their growing suspicion, a panicked Barnes asked Paxton to leave first, claiming he had received a call from his colleague at the church. Feeling this was their best chance, they planned to flee the house immediately. Their panic escalated when they realized the front door seemed deliberately locked. They then tried to find an escape through the window, but unfortunately, every window in the house was designed to be very narrow, making it impossible to get through. At the same time, Paxton, trying to call for help, was further hampered by the fact that his phone signal suddenly disappeared. Feeling there was no other way, and not wanting to arouse suspicion, they reluctantly had to follow Reed to the room he mentioned. However, their steps came to an abrupt halt when they saw a dark figure standing at the end of the hallway.
Mr. Reed?
Luckily, however, the figure turned out to be just a statue that did look quite frightening. Eventually, when they met Reed again, Barnes made an excuse that they couldn't stay long because the church had asked them to return home immediately. Hearing this, Reed said they were free to leave anytime if they wanted to go home. However, Barnes, realizing his bike key was missing, asked Reed for help opening the front door, which he claimed was stuck. Upon hearing the request, Reed apologized and explained that he forgot to mention that his front door was actually controlled by an automatic locking system that would lock itself after a certain hour. And as it happened, they had arrived just before dusk, so the door wouldn't reopen until the next day. As their panic reached its peak, Reed, sensing that they were already growing suspicious, finally told the truth. He admitted that he didn't actually have a wife and had no intention of converting to their religion. Instead, he only wanted to invite them to play a game about belief. He said their attempts to call for help would be futile because he had designed the place in such a way that no signal could get in. Even so, he asked them to remain calm because if they managed to get through the game he had prepared, they would be allowed to go home through the back door. However, Reed also warned that in this game they would have to choose between faith and logic. Feeling they had no other option, Barnes and Paxton were forced to follow the rules of the game.
That's a basement. Outside.
They were immediately horrified when they saw the door leading to a basement that was so dark and appeared to be very deep. Meanwhile, at the church, a priest named Kennedy was beginning to worry about Paxton and Barnes, who had not yet returned. Fearing that something had happened to them, he decided to go look for them. Back to Barnes and Paxton, they asked Reed to show them the door that truly led to the backyard. Hearing this request, Reed then gave them a choice.
Just in. That's it. But it should not be made simply. A sincere decision.
Reed then explained that in this game, they could choose an exit door according to their respective beliefs. If they believed in God, they could choose the left door. If not, they could choose the right door. At that moment, Paxton, worried that all of this was just a trap, decided to go through the right door. Meanwhile, Barnes, who held firmly to his faith, chose the left door. Before entering, Barnes stated that even if he chose the wrong door, he would still believe in God and accept whatever happened. Hearing this, Paxton, now feeling more confident, finally decided to follow Barnes.
It's okay.
However, they both immediately panicked when they realized that the door they had chosen actually led to a dark, damp room. The place looked more like a cage than the promised exit. Even so, Barnes noticed an air vent and seemed to be planning something.
If we don't agree with, we challenge.
Before he could carry out his plan, they suddenly panicked when they heard someone approaching while moving a table and chairs back to their original positions. Barnes, who was carrying a dagger, then told Paxton to hide while he would create a distraction. As the tension reached its peak, the two could only watch a thin, eerie-looking figure who appeared to be getting ready to do something. It turned out that the door choice was just a trap, because in reality both doors led to the same place.
Mystery.
Your skin makes me you're so very special.
Eventually, after finishing listening to the song Creep by Radiohead, Reed said that he wanted to show them a miracle. They would witness a woman in front of them die after eating a pie that had been laced with poison. But after that, he would bring her back to life through a miracle. and as people of faith, according to Reed, they should certainly believe it. Reed then asked them to check the woman's condition for themselves.
Acknowledge, please, that her heart. Pulse. You feel a breath? Acknowledge, please, that there's no pulse.
No.
So she's dead.
Yeah.
A moment longer.
After examining her, Barnes said that the woman was confirmed dead. They were then told that the woman would come back to life and tell them what really happened in the afterlife. However, in the middle of the demonstration, the arrival of a guest made Reed decide to check it out first.
He's coming.
After unlocking a secret door, it turned out the person who had arrived was Kennedy, who was looking for Barnes and Paxton. Calmly, Reed said that he had never received any visitors from the church. Meanwhile, on the other side, Barnes and Paxton planned to burn their coats so that someone outside the house could be alerted to their presence. Upon returning to the basement, Barnes began to feel that the position of the woman's body seemed to have changed from before. Even so, he still insisted that a dead person could not possibly come back to life. How shocked they were when they saw the woman come back to life, saying that there actually is no afterlife, and that it's all just a fairy tale. At that moment, Reed arrived with a satisfied smile, as if pleased that he had managed to shake their faith. After that, Reed invited the woman to go rest. Then spoke at length again, claiming that the woman was living proof that the afterlife does not exist. However, Barnes, feeling that Reed was trying to destroy their beliefs, immediately objected. He was convinced that everything that had happened was just a trick. Eventually, a heated debate about belief broke out between Barnes and Reed. Meanwhile, Paxton, understanding the situation, secretly began preparing his weapon. Barnes tried to distract Reed so that Paxton would have an opportunity to act. But like a lightning-fast strike
Of that event. Just witness. But this, talking about a magic trick. What?
Reed, unwilling to lose the debate, decided to kill Barnes just as the woman seemed to be doing something to his body.
Yeah.
After removing an implant from Barnes's body, Reed said that this was proof that Barnes was truly faithful. Nuns were not supposed to have contraceptive implants because they were not allowed to engage in sexual intercourse. As Paxton's faith continued to be bombarded by Reed's various statements, he tried to strengthen himself by engaging the man in a debate. Paxton said that if he managed to figure out the trick in this place, then Reed would have to let him go. Hearing that, Reed said he was welcome to try if Paxton was truly confident he could win. Then Paxton stated that the resurrection of the body they had shown earlier was just a trick. He was convinced that the body had actually been swapped with someone else. Hearing this accusation, Reed said that if that were the case, there would have to be an entrance leading to this place. He then challenged Paxton to prove his words and find the secret door in question.
Last.
Immediately, Paxton managed to find the secret door that Reed had been hiding all along. Seeing this, Reed once again sparked Paxton's curiosity. He said that if what Paxton claimed was indeed true, then there would certainly be evidence inside, and Paxton would have no choice but to check it out himself. Sure enough, Paxton eventually succeeded in proving his claim that what was happening in that place was nothing but a trick. However, at the same time, Reed immediately locked Paxton in so he couldn't go anywhere. After that, Paxton saw several doors, each marked with various beliefs, including satanic belief. In the midst of his search, he then found a door that was locked using his own bicycle lock. As it happened, Paxton still had the key to that lock, so he opened it immediately. How shocked Paxton was when he saw women in tattered clothes imprisoned in that place. Not long after, Reed arrived and said that he believed more in power than in any belief. It turned out that this man, who had lost his sanity, wanted to create a new religion, where his followers would be nothing but slaves he could control at will. They were made into slaves, just like the women who had been imprisoned in that place all along.
Only for the same reason that your church could control someone who has lost.
Hearing all of this, Paxton could only feel sad because he was powerless to help them.
They even dictate.
However, after managing to break free from Reed's watch, Paxton immediately fled and tried to find a way out of that horrific place. Suddenly, Paxton was filled with despair when he realized that every door in the house kept bringing him back to the same place. Then, out of nowhere, things took an even darker turn when Paxton suffered a very severe injury. Feeling that he didn't have much longer to live, he tried to pray, asking for forgiveness and strengthening himself against the heresy that had been trying to shake his faith.
That you've laid out for
In his final moments, completely unexpectedly, Barnes, who was already dying, still managed to save Paxton. However, due to excessive blood loss, Barnes eventually took his last breath in Paxton's lap. Amidst profound grief, Paxton, whose condition was growing weaker, immediately tried to leave that place. Eventually, he managed to find the way out by following the clues from a miniature house that had been shown to him earlier. So, what do you think? This movie is quite tense, isn't it? There's not much more that needs to be explained. In essence, Reed, a psychopath, deliberately invited them to his house to trap and mislead them. But in the end, after Paxton managed to uncover all the tricks Reed had pulled, he survived thanks to Barnes's sacrifice. Okay guys, that's all for this review and discussion of the film. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss other interesting videos. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next discussion.